Well, welcome back, punters, and here we are for the first show of 2022 of Tipster. Michael Gannon, welcome back for the year, mate. How was the break?
Hello, mate. Break was sensational, ducking and weaving COVID, so doing well there to dodge those bullets. And been a lean start on the punt, but things are picking back up. So keen to get into the show and find some punters, some winners as well.
Yeah, look, lots of stories flooding in about you, Mr. Gannon. We'll leave some of those as we drag the show out, especially in the close. So I'll come back to those. For the viewers, we were meant to be in the studio, but yours truly here have to isolate this week. So we're going back to the home studios, as it turns out, but certainly back in the studio for future shows, given that all is okay. And we hope you're keeping safe, of course, as we go through this crazy period. Mike, what's going on at the moment? I already noticed there's already a YouTube video up, and there's lots of pandemonium about it and lots of buzz. Tell me about it, mate. What's going on?
Yeah, so myself, Dean Watling and Lewis Willoughby from Sky Racing are doing a show every Monday night, which basically we cover off the feature race for the coming Saturday. This week was Magic Millions, covered 3 or 4 races there and early thoughts on those, basically identifying some horses that we thought were over the odds. And we also covered Tuesday and Wednesday best bets as well, and got off to a good start. Louis tipped us into a $12 winner, into a $4 winner. I was lucky enough to find I think $4 in the end on the tote. And unfortunately, my tip today I went down, but it was around $5, but did pay $2.80 to place. So hopefully someone chimed in and made some money there. And there's a few more tips to go. They'll be coming every week. So make sure you chime into those.
Wow, excellent. To have the likes of Lewis Willoughby from Sky Racing's got to be great, and just shows that he's not just a commentator and an anchor there, and as we've learned, a race caller, but also knows how to do his form. So certainly worth catching, and that's every week there, Mick. They can catch it on our YouTube channel. As always, subscribe. We have one punter saying, I missed the tips, I missed the winners. Of course, what do you have to do, Mike, to make sure you don't miss them?
Subscribe, guys. Pretty easy
stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll get it.
If you're up at about 1 a.m., you'll probably see it as well.
yeah, it goes in pretty early. Hey, what are we doing in this show? Of course, it's the start of the year, so we're going to tell you about the Tipster of the month in December. Some interesting results there. And hey, we told you about the race for the Tipster of the year. Well, isn't there some interesting stuff? We had a dark horse. Was that person going to tip enough? We can now reveal who that is. And we can tell you what the top 5 placings were. Lots of media tipsters in there, which is interesting. Just shows that they've had a pretty solid year. And then we're going to get into the Gold Coast Magic Millions Carnival. And the best way to talk about that one is to give you guys early mail from those tipsters that are going very well, not only at Gold Coast, but in Queensland. We've got some media experts there, as well as some pro punters amongst them. And hey, we'll finish off with our close with mixed moral and a couple of little stories, and then we'll send you on your way for a big weekend of punting. Mick, ready to go?
Ready to go. Let's do it, mate.
Let's go. So, Mike, of course, we have all the stats on our site, thegreattipoff.com, and that allows us to tell punters who is the tipster of the month, and we'll talk very shortly about tipster of the year. So, Mick, do you want to see these top 5, mate? Who did it right, or who did it best in December?
Mate, can't wait. Let's get right into that.
Yeah, here we go. And you'll see here the list, and there is a name at the top we've seen many times. In fact, we've seen 3 times since we've been doing these tipster shows in 2021. And he starts 2022 off by appearing as top of the pot, Milko 27. This guy, mate, he loves, and he's obviously good at it. If you've got the pro symbol, that means you're not just having a fluky run. You've got to have double-digit profit for a long time. So this bloke's the real deal. Tipped, I'm just trying to think what it was now. He tipped Miss Coco $16.80 through the month is just an example of sort of value he's picking out. Look, a couple of good other performances there. One other one I want to pick out there is Steve Carroll. He's probably a more recent comer to the site, Mick. He's the real deal, this guy. Tips about 4 or 5 runners when he tips. Has a very involved betting strategy, does his homework, takes his time. Big focus on WA. Here we go again, Nick. WA.
Tell you, mate, it's the place to go. I might just move over there, sit by the beach, suck a few pina coladas down, and have a few bets here and there.
Well, you don't have to live there to focus on it, of course. I mean, we put a tweet out.
Get around it, mate. It's the minutia. It's the vibe, the marbo.
It's marbo. I knew that was coming. Hey, look, I think interestingly enough, we put up the highest strike rate performers on the site through the year, and it was ridiculous. It was like out of the top 10, there was like 7 people from WA. So, hey, look, guys, if you're looking to punt in WA, if you're looking to punt anywhere, come to the site, but it's particularly WA, some cracking performers. And we're going to talk more about those guys in a minute. But some other great performers there. Give us a spell, second in the month. Flying Ryan, Hoppers 27, all great performances. And of course, if you want to appear here, come to the site, free to join, free to use it, put your tips in. And apart from being able to sell your tips, run into the tip comp where we give $1,000 cash away every month. I mean, these guys on your screen here are each going to share in $1,000 cash. You're also going to be able to sell your tips on our site, or if they back them using Hotbet, you'll get paid when they win. And Jesus, some big numbers going out there last month, Mick. I saw people very, very happy with their hot bets and the money they're making from them. I'll certainly be paying out a lot in.
Oh, absolutely, mate, without a doubt. Like, it's a great way to supplement what you're doing as well. So I had about 4 or 5 winners of about 400 tips last month, and I even made a bit myself. So,
yeah, there we go. Now let's look at the tipster of the year. Let's have a look at that leaderboard then, Mick. The top 5, we're showing it a bit differently here. Here it is. At Dark Horse, Mick, was Brendan Delaney, of course, from RSN. And
unbelievable. What an effort.
He's a gun.
55%.
Yeah, pot. And look, he was just under the 100 tip mark when we spoke in December. He got well over that in the end. And his tipping effort in December, he wouldn't have been far off that top 5, just to show you it's just not a fluke with this guy. I think he's like 8 months profit in a row. So he's probably only had 1 or 2 losing months in the whole year. And look, he got over the line, mate. And look, if he doesn't tip enough, then Chris Blackwell was running, he was at least the next media expert in line. But look, Chris Blackwell won with a leg in the air when it came to cash profit. So because he put so many tips in, cash profit's not a bad indicator to just show how well someone like Chris Blackwell did over there at Ozrace.
Unreal.
Yeah, look, Mitch Hamilton, I think the one there you've got to mention is, unlike a lot of these other tippers, Mitch puts his tips in sometimes up to about 60 hours before they jump, to meet the Daily Telegraph deadlines. So you've got to look at that result and say, wow, 23% pot. And Terry McCormack, their punter, 21% pot, pro punter, who rounds out the top 5, Mick. So some bits there.
Tell you what, mate, there's some bloody impressive performances there. Is anyone else chiming in after those blokes went close to that 20% mark, or is that about it?
Yeah, no, hey, there's a whole list. And of course, people come to the site. You can actually go to the leaderboard, drop down 2021, and you can see the whole leaderboard. So, thegreattipoff.com, go to leaderboard, in the drop down for period, go to 2021. But I'll give you a couple of names, mate, that just missed out on the top 5, Mick. The one and only Brad Davidson from Sky Racing. But hey, that's taking even stake, not his staking plan. The even stake was performed much, much better. Terry Layton.
Davo, even stake those bad boys.
Even stake those, Davo. We're here to help. We're here to help. The other interesting one is Terry Layton from SEN. I believe he pops up around here and there and other places as well, but he certainly was very close there, very sharp shooter. And Peter McCormack, of course, we've had Pete on. He gave us some tips from WA. He's the rails bookie. And again, 2 of those who just missed out, WA, Chris Blackwell, WA.
How do the bookies make money in WA? They're betting him be driving.
I know. Well, one of the bookies is tipping, so he must sort of know what's going on. Someone's someone's not making money, otherwise it would have made money. But
everyone's making money somehow. Good on them.
The government certainly is, that's for sure, out of all that. But we'll talk about that on another occasion. So yeah, look, hey, there it is, Mick. Tipsters of the year. We salute you, Brendan Delaney, Chris Blackwell, top 3 as well. Asian Dave Blue. Yeah, look, haven't been able to get hold of him, unfortunately, but Mitchell Hamilton, Terry McCormack, other 3 we mentioned, and there's many others who had a great year. Come to the site to check it out. All right, so here we come to the Big Magic Millions weekend, Mick. And of course, what was very popular last year is just giving punters tips. Of course, we've got those on our site with their stats. So what we're doing here is we're picking through the best performers either at Gold Coast track, which is a tough one. I certainly don't have a lot of fun there, or they do well in Queensland. And we're going to get them to give us our tips, Mick.
Let's do it, mate. Okay.
Yeah. And
who we got?
Mate, we've got Anthony Collins, who is like 20% plus pot over, a long time. I think he's about 4 months profit in a row. He's going to give us his tips. We've got Rick Morris, and we have Just Wins, who does an article on the weekend, and he's going red hot as well. He's in profit for the last 6 months and going very strong. So let's see what they've got to say.
There. Let's see what they got, mate.
Yeah, let's go.
Hello everyone. Well, it's that time of year here in southeast Queensland. It's Magic Millions time. Plenty of talk about it, obviously. It's a great time, creates a massive big buzz here. And obviously with the yearling sales, a couple of race days, and the guys down there at Aquas Park, Gold Coast do a great job. And this Saturday, it'll come to a head. And we need to find your winner, because you guys at the Great Tip-Off have been great supporters of mine over the last 12 months. And I hope that I can put the writing on the wall once again in the ensuing months to come. So, look, I'm with Mashani Spartan. Les Ross is a great trainer of 2-year-old gallopers. Go back and have a look at the replay in the Gold Nugget. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about there. It got left a long way, ducked and weaved, it got up the inside late to claim victory. Coming around the home turn, you just thought, this horse is way too far back, this won't win. And then all of a sudden it unleashed. It was a $2,000 buy. For Mashani Enterprises. Obviously Michael Crooks there. He's a great owner, he's a great supporter of racing in this part of the world, and I hope that they can go home with the chocolates. It's got a good gate, gate 3. My mark on the favourite Coolangatta, gate 13, so that could be the telling tale. Mashani Spartan.
Hi, it's Rick Morris here from the Great Tip-Off, and I'm having an early look at the Gold Coast Magic Millions for Saturday. And of course, we got a good look at how the track placed last Saturday. There was a few winners that came from well back, so they were able to still get into the race, and some winners were closer to the speed. So my advice would be, if you've got a good draw, that's all great. However, if you fancy something and you're a bit worried about the wide draw, don't let that put you off, because you can still win from anywhere. The 2-year-old Magic Millions I see as the real showcase race on the program, and we've got an odds-on favourite in Coolangatta, who has been at the top of the markets, since day one. Gate 13, it may be exposed outside the leader. Look, she's a good horse. She's won her both starts. She's odds-on favourite. A question mark on her time as well last start. On the surface, She looks a star, but the last start win was around 5 lengths slower than Mass Destruction, who won a Class 3 35 minutes earlier in the day. So, you can pick it apart, but, she's all class. But I'm going with Russian Conquest for Peter and Paul Snowden at $7. They've won the race previously with Capitalist in 2016, and Russian Conquest has won both starts and streeted them over 1,100 metres last start. Steps up to 1,200 metres for the first time, and gives every indication should go on with it and be further improved. So that's my top tip. I liked Golden Artie's run last start. Ran past Soaring Ambition, who, I rate pretty highly, and I thought it was a really good win and a good step up here. So I think Golden Artie at $19 is a real show. And of course, both Soaring Ambition and Coolangatta also. With the 3-year-old Magic Millions, we've got Clear Top Raider in Jamaica, who rates 95, has won 2 Group 2 races. So The next highest rater is King of Sparta, the second favourite, who's on 85. So Jamea was flying home in a recent trial. That was over 1,000 metres, ran third, looks ready to produce a real run first up, even over the 1,400. We're all over Starman last week, but stepping back up to 1,400 is a concern for me, and not running out the distance prior. Fillies and mares, away game is entered in both the fillies and mares and the snippets 1,200. I think after its last start effort, where she flew home behind Marabi in the listed Christmas Stakes, I think she can win either of these, whichever she contests on Saturday. I think away game's a really good bet and looks ready to win. Hope you have a great day and good luck.
Good evening, punters. Just Wins here, looking at the Gold Coast races for Saturday the 15th of January. Magic Millions Day looks an absolute perler. Good 3 to 4 track expected. Rail out 1.5 metres to the 400 and true in the straight. Ideally at the Gold Coast you want to be on pace, particularly when it's a good track. However, the tempo is usually the better indicator for where you need to be. Ideally, you want to come down the middle in the straight because that's where the crest of the track is. My best bet is in the 3-year-old race. I'm with I'm Lethal at $7.50. The John O'Shea trained colt. Would love to take this out the O'Shea yard, given he trained the mother Steps in Time, who was more than handy. This I'm Invincible colt was ultra impressive last start. Was a touch fresh, but settled well after being a touch tardy out of the gates. Made the move on the turn and put them away quickly, beating Socialists and Snits on Fire and extending through the line. Barrier 16 on Saturday isn't ideal. However, the 1,400 metre shoot at the Gold Coast is a long back straight. Bowman can find a spot before the turn, ideally with cover. And it is noted that he just has a knack of winning these big races. Time and time again, you know, he sort of has a bit of an average run and then he just picks up the big one. So he is the big money rider. And hopefully if there's any fireworks out in front on Saturday, this horse can come over them late. Best of luck, punters, on Saturday.
And then we have at the end of our Magic Millions 2022 show, Mick, what's next to do, of course, is get your mixed moral.
Unreal. Mate, we head to Rosehill Gardens, race 10, last race of the day, 6 o'clock. Whew, half of you won't make it there, not because you're bad punters, because you probably had too many schooners, or maybe you've just had enough on the punt. But set yourself an alarm, $5.59, because we have a winner going around that's currently $7.50. Number 2, Selena Dreaming. This horse goes like a jet first up for the Angela Davies stable. She's a very, very good trainer. Tyler Schiller jumps on with 3 kilo claim. And this mare will be flying over the top late and should be winning. And $7.50 is a great price. Was $8.50. Take your $7.50, be happy with it, and you should be joining the queue.
All right, there we go. In the last, Selena's Dreaming. All power to it, Mick. Let's start the year off in a big way. Hey, just before we go and sign off, a couple of things. Firstly, I believe a racehorse of yours debuted yesterday. Mick, how'd it go? What was its name and what happened?
Mate, lucky enough to have a small share in a horse called Well in Sight, which debuted for Mitch Beard down at Albury yesterday. Half the field came out, so that made our job a lot easier. I think it won by just under 3 lengths. But, mate, it was bloody great experience. Anthony Manton's in the horse as well. And the boys are doing a great job down there, mate. So what a thrill to get a win. I think the last horse I had was about 0-13. So
yeah, nice.
Here we are. Haven't stopped this one.
Good on you, mate. You sort of were pretty excited about it. And congratulations to Mano and Mitch Beer and the whole team. I'm sure there's a few others diving in there. So that's great news. Hey, I just want to tell a quick story. I was on a bit of a brewery tour just before Christmas there. And you ever had this happen, Mick? You're with a bloke. He's absolutely fly. Can't do anything wrong. $20 winners, putting the rest of these mates on the bus. And then you hear this groan. And you look around and you think, what's wrong? And the big fat fingers have pressed a couple of extra zeros and the bet's gone through. and wiped out all the winnings from the day. Ever had that happen?
Yeah.
I'll let the viewers guess who that happened to. Certainly.
Sure, that horse hasn't come back and run next, but it'll win by 10 next start.
Yeah. I think the moral of the story, isn't it, Mick? Don't bet at the end of a brewery tour, right?
Mate, we'd had 37 schooners by then.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So there we go.
It's a cool game.
Bit of insight for you. If any bookies out there want Mick's account, you can apparently take it. You can get a sign from him when he's actually at the back end of a brewery tour, and I think I'll be lining up for your bets there, Mick.
That'd make a fortune.
Yeah, absolutely. But hey, look, great show. Thanks for that, Mick. Obviously looking forward to one of the big race to start the year, really, the Magic Millions. Don't forget, folks, come to the site, thegreattipoff.com, for all your horse racing tips, harness racing tips, greyhound racing tips. Want to be on the show? Start tipping. Look, give us a yell out. Tell us what your Twitter ID is, everything. We'll give you a yell out when we see you go well. And hey, we'd love to see you on this show, on one of these leaderboards. Maybe we might even interview you. So get amongst it. Give us feedback on the site as well on YouTube. Hey, have a good punting week, punters. Mick, till next week.
Unreal, mate. Look forward to it.
Yeah, we'll see you then, punters. Take care.
Yeah.